Welcome back, Wolfpack Nation, to another episode of Tuffy Talk. We're getting into episode 2 with our conversation with Eric Mac Lain of ESPN and ACC Network. And first episode, we kind of took you around the horn on the ACC as a whole, kind of talked about Eric's thoughts on the league and perception and, kind of who he thinks is going to kind of slot where, and just talk a little briefly on all teams except for that ugly blue color, but that's all right. So we're going to dive right in. Yo, we always throw shade, brother. It's not a rivalry if you're not talking smack. I just want to dive right in, man. Let's get it. You kind of mentioned that the 10 win is the ceiling in your, the floor in your opinion.
Floor ain't no ceiling.
Yeah,
that's the floor, baby.
No, that's the floor. I think there's big things in store. I just kind of want to get your thoughts. You were out there, like I said, at the end of episode 1 for ACC Media Days or your road show. I'm not sure exactly what you guys call it, but that's the second year you've been out there. Just give me your thoughts from last year to this year. What's the difference that you're seeing? Obviously there's a new quarterback, in the huddle with Grayson McCall taking over for Brendan Armstrong. But give me your initial thoughts on what you saw out there.
Yeah, well, first of all, the years are incomparable. Just with what this offense looks like, the playmakers, specifically at wide receiver. Just some absolute dudes. And I know everyone listening knows this, but, Wesley Grimes, quick as a cat. He was one of the first guys I noticed. And honestly, I forgot that he transferred there. And so I'm like, who the heck is 6? And then I'm looking at the roster. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot this guy was here. And then Noah Rogers, again, jumps off the practice field. They were doing some one-on-one type drills, and Noah and Aiden White just going head to head. And the first route or first drill, Noah gets him. Great catch, kind of over the top of him. And I'm just like, whoa, that was impressive. Like, especially against that guy, right? Mm-hmm. Next time they go against each other, same thing, competitive ball. Aiden gets his hands up, throws the ball down. I'm just like, these dudes are good. Like, this is great competition. Great to see this. You know what you're getting from KC. Just a dynamic as it comes type of guy. And then, of course, some others that have transferred in as well at the wide receiver position. So that to me was the biggest, kind of in your face, this looks different, right? Mm-hmm. Like, these guys are twitchy, fast, explosive. I'm not questioning who any of the dudes are in regards to, this is what to expect and this is who we expect it from. Love what I saw from Joe Lee as well. Big dude, bigger than I thought he was. But still as versatile, where you can line them up a lot of different positions, not have to substitute, and really put defenses in a hard bind. So I'm super excited for the, just the pass catchers in general, seeing what those guys can do. Looking at my offensive line, Anthony Belton is a monster. That dude is so fun to watch. He's so big, but super nimble and athletic as well. Really reminds me a ton of, that young man that Louisville had a couple of years ago, and I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. But that was just huge. Got drafted by the Jets in the first round.
I know who you're talking about.
Mekhi Becton. That's what it was. Yep. It's very similar in regards to just size, like mass. You can't teach that. And it seems like he's really stepping up as a leader. I was privileged enough to, go into coach's, meeting there with the offensive line, and Coach 2J allowed me to go sit in there. He is so good. I'm so happy he's at NC State. But just to hear him talk, AB, and just kind of getting the young guys up and saying, hey, what do you see here? What are you doing here? And then I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Zeke Correll. That dude, war daddy, like bona fide leader immediately that he got there, and, just knows it all. Really good football player. So I think the offensive line is going to be better. And then I think it's pretty well known, my love for Jordan Waters. That dude is so good. So the running game, which, kind of in my opinion, probably most Wolfpack, opinion, the run game has been severely lacking, right? And maybe the piece that has held them back for whatever reason, as I'm doing thumbs up here. We're excited about that. And that's gone now, right? You've got that guy's instant success. We know what that's going to be. And then kind of the cherry on top with Grayson McCall, winner, ball player, looked extremely healthy. Have no worries about that as at all. And I think what the most important thing about him was unequivocally wanted to be at NC State.
Yeah.
Like got there for a visit, felt it, knew it. Let's do it. And I think that's important. And, to see it from a guy like that. And I just can't wait to see it, man. I'm so glad we're there week one. I can't wait to see it in person.
I'm glad you're there. I might have to, like I told you, bring you over some food from the tailgate.
Come on. I need that.
You need that fuel. You and KG were talking on the NC State breakdown, which was fantastic, by the way, as always. You guys talked about Grayson McCall, right? And everyone remembers the Brennan Armstrong. You guys used the Brennan Armstrong experience, if I can use your guys' words. Yeah. And she was a little hesitant, and I feel kind of the same way. Just because fool me once, that old additive. Because I think you felt more comfortable with Brennan because he was doing it at the Power 5 level, and Grayson's coming from the Group of 5, but like to your point, to kind of settle her emotions down, is like he was 3-time Conference Player of the Year. Like they don't just give that award away just because the guy that looks the best in his uniform. Right. Kind of just talk us through, like, talk us off the ledge as NC State fans, because you know us, all right, and you've heard the NC State stuff thing before, which I think is officially gone now after last year's run. But just kind of talk State fans away off the ledge, because they remember Brennan. And Brent, by the way, you guys put it great, and I said the same thing. It's like, I was just thinking about this the other night when we were doing a podcast. It's like, how the hell did we get to 9-3 last year? Yeah, and it was because certain guys didn't quit, literally, and that was Brennan Armstrong, and the coaches found out a way to make it work. Right. So anyway, I say all that. Please, how is Grayson McCall going to be the guy this year?
Wolfpack Nation, I want to interrupt this interview real quick, tell you about an amazing new sponsor that we have, an Oconee Gold small batch barbecue, y'all, who makes amazing barbecue sauces, an amazing dry rub, and has some awesome merchandise as well. Whether you're just a basic barbecue sauce lover, or whether you like more of a buffalo-based barbecue sauce, whether you like mustard-based, vinegar-based, spicy, dry rub, you name it, go to their website, www.oconeegoldbarbecuesauces.com, and use the coupon code Tuffy Talk to get 15% off your entire order here today. And if your purchase is over $99, you also get free shipping as well, y'all. So again, make sure to go check out our new sponsor, Oconee Gold Small Batch Barbecue. Get all of the barbecue sauces you need, that amazing dry rub, your merchandise, and get all set for this amazing football season that's about to take place. Go Pack, y'all.
Well, I think the biggest difference to me is we saw between both these guys, and I love Brennan, trust me. I really do. I wanted him to have so much success. He is a warrior. That's the best way to describe it. And honestly, when it all happened, when he got benched, you're just like, man, that sucks. Mm-hmm. Because it's his last shot at football, potentially. And you just feel bad for him. Now, I love that MJ was there, and that's a whole situation, whatever, with him kind of quitting. Yeah, a whole nother episode. But then Brennan was ready. He was ready. He never quit. Yeah, just a dude, and almost was like a rebirth of his NC State, kind of career. But just to paint you a picture of how my thoughts on Brennan. Yeah. But when you look at it, Brennan just had that one unbelievable year, and it was unbelievable. I mean, you're talking about 4,000 plus yards through the air. He might have been the leading rusher, that same year, for Virginia. And then the next year, the wheels fell off a bit. And so, it was trending that way. And of course, we saw, what happened at NC State, where it wasn't maybe quite, I don't think it was as bad as that year, but it wasn't nearly as good as the 4,000 year.
I mean, let's be real. We just didn't have the skill position talent around him.
Correct.
That he had that one year. I mean,
he didn't either. He didn't either that next year, And so that's the biggest difference where you look at Grayson, it's literally year after year after year of consistency, 10,000 plus yards passing, 88 touchdowns. It's just what he does. He's just a baller. He just gets the ball out. And now he's in a situation where, kind of similar to what I was saying about Cam Ward last episode, he's with the best team he's ever been with. So it's like almost on cruise control, dog. I just get the ball out and get out of the way. So I really feel like his decision making, his experience, And quite frankly, he's a beast. Like, it just is what it is. I get the hesitancy of thinking, G5 to P5 is a drastic difference, but man, quarterback, they're throwing the ball, man. Like, they're anticipating routes the way that he does it. I don't think that transition will be anything for him. And quite frankly, the opposite. I think he's going to be a smooth operator this entire season, and just can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he's surrounded with such good talent, and I think that good talent, they're going to find ways to get open. They're going to get creative ways. I see KC lining up all over the place like they did last year.
Where's Waldo, man?
Yeah,
he's going to be everywhere.
Yeah, and I think you're not going to be able to just concentrate on one dude, right? Like they were able to, and they still found a way to make it work, which is even more unbelievable. You kind of talk about the running backs. I think that is a group that's not getting enough love on this team. You have Jordan Waters that you already talked about, and then we have Hollywood Smothers, who I'm excited to see him do his thing. And then you've got Kendrick Raphael, who had some breakout moments. He had a great game last year against Miami. I think that's going to be a very key position group, because to your point earlier, we just haven't done it. And I think to your other point, the offensive line, when you were talking about them, I think they're going to be so much better. Just kind of talk to me about like what you envision for this offense, because it's so many options.
It really is. And, I think it's interesting too, to just look at Coach Robert and I's stops, and, specifically Virginia and Syracuse, and, how they do stuff. And, he's a guy that he's going to use what he has, and he's going to use what he has to the nth degree. And he wants to find creative pieces. He wants to put guys, in places to win. And, you look at some of the running backs that he's had. Jordan Waters is probably going to be one of the best. Mm-hmm. He's probably going to be, one of the most dynamic. This is probably the best offensive line out of the two schools that I just mentioned as well.
He had a pretty good one at UVA, though. He had a pretty good one. There were some UVA guys that are in the league. But I mean, as a whole,
we're not talking about first round draft pick potentials, and just solidified guys there. And I agree with you. I mean, they had some dudes on that team. But so when I look at it, I do think it's going to be pass heavy. I think it has to be pass heavy. But the difference is, when everyone in the world knows that we're going to run it, we're still going to run it, and we're going to do it. We're going to be successful. And I think that is the biggest difference. I would love to see, Waters involved in the receiving game as well, the passing game, just because he's a guy you got to get the ball in his hand. He's so dynamic as a weapon there. But, I would be shocked if he has like 4 games over 100 yards rushing. I think that's just what it's going to be. He's not going to be asked to do the same type of stuff. Now, could he? Right. Sure. I mean, he's that electric of a player, but I think, 12 to 15 carries a game is probably what you're looking at. And that's probably optimal, because that means we're throwing it at a really high clip. And you have some other guys that'll be rotating in. So, that's kind of my biggest thing. If it was my offense and what I see and the guys that I like here, we're throwing it 35 times a game.
Yeah, to your point, I mean, Jordan Waters showed that he could be the bell cow, especially with last year with Link. I'm just screwing up his name. Quarterback for
Riley Leonard.
Riley Leonard. I was trying to say Lincoln Riley.
Hey, shout out Lincoln Riley, man.
He's on the hot seat. So he definitely showed at times where, he had to kind of step up, and I'm glad that when we played Duke this year, that he's not on the other side of the ball.
Hey, I will tell you this too. Talking about those these camp tours, seeing him in red, white, and black, weird. A
little different.
Super weird. Weird.
I bet that is weird when you see these guys in different uniforms from a previous season.
Well, he said it's weird for himself. He said, because he's just been in that blue for so long.
Yeah, the okay blue.
Yeah. Okay, we're cool with that. Well, okay, we're okay with it.
It's okay.
We're okay with
it's okay.
I understand.
We're excited. He's rolling with us this year. All right, let's flip to the other side of the ball. Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, because that seems to be the focus on this defense. No Peyton Wilson. All right, we put it out there. Newsflash.
He's gone.
What are you seeing? When you were out there, and obviously it was limited and probably a little vanilla. But what did you see from that defensive side of the ball?
And before we get going back into this amazing interview, we want to take a quick second and tell you about Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group that has your whole world covered, with agents in 5 different offices throughout Eastern North Carolina to help you decide how much coverage you need, offering policies for home and auto, recreational vehicles, commercial, crop, health, life, and employee benefits. They are able to combine options to find a comprehensive solution that works for you. Flatlands Jessup protects the things you love so you can spend less time worrying and more time enjoying them. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Flatlands Jessup. You can also visit their website at www.flatlandsjessup.com. So please make sure to go and check them out.
Well, similar to the offense, the secondary just jumped out really quick. I mean, long, fast, really dynamic playmakers back there. You add in a former All-American and Jihad Carter, who was at Syracuse, was at Ohio State, now here at the safety position. Keep Aiden White, who I think is arguably one of the best in the country. Devin Boykin is a freak. And then, you go down to the second level, looking at the linebacking core. And, I think Caden is ready. I think he's excited. He's a guy that's been buying his time and, is kind of in that position now. I think that, Sean Brown is going to be tasked with being, kind of in Peyton Wilson's position, moving down from the safety. Yeah, moving down from the safety spot.
Not Peyton Wilson.
Exactly. Yeah. No. You're not just replacing that in 1 year, one off season. But I think he's going to be great. I mean, he's super fast, really long arms. Probably a better blitzer, which is weird to say. Getting after the quarterback and finding ways, because Peyton was great at that. Mm-hmm. But I think at the end of the day, Tony Gibson's still there, and he's one of the best to do it. And he's going to be exotic. There's a chip on his shoulder. Talking with him, he said, love that people are doubting them and their defense. And that's different, right? I mean, for so many years, that's the identity of the team. They're a defensive, hard-nosed team. And offense, will have spurts and do their thing, kind of as they go. But this year, perception-wise, it's a little bit flipped. So I'm fascinated to see how good can that defense be, because, again, I mentioned Tony Gibson, all those other names. Davin Van, the guys up front, look really good, strong. I think this team still has a chance to be a top 5 defense, even though, some people think it might be up in Pittsburgh.
Okay. Yeah. I look, if this defense takes, quote unquote, a half a step back, they're still going to be really good. And I think because
half a step goes from number 1 to number 2.
Yeah, there it is. But I think the offense is going to take such a bigger step. So, that gap between the two units, I think are going to close dramatically.
For sure.
All right. Well, let's get into a little bit on the schedule. Obviously, you said, you guys will be there week 1. That'll just be a prep game, we hope, for Tennessee week 2, which is the big one. The first 4 weeks of the season is like, we're going to find out who this team is really quick. I mean, right. Not to say that, you won't on the rest of the half, but you're going to know where you stand real fast. That Tennessee game, you kind of mentioned it in the first episode about the whole bragging rights for the ACC. You're going to go up against a very formidable opponent. The Tennessee has aspirations of college football, SEC, championships. It's going to be a dogfight, but neutral field. I like it that it's a neutral field for one. So we don't have to go to, Knoxville. That place is a horror story. Though I would love to go there sometime. But you also get Nico early in the season. I'm not even trying to say Nico's last name. I never. It's one of those names. But you get him early in the season where he's still trying to figure things out. I like our chances more because it is an early season game, but it's a later season game. Give me your thoughts on that matchup.
No, I exactly love that. And again, you can try to confuse them, give them a bunch of stuff. Again, as exotic as, NC State has been, that's just base, right? Blitzing is a base defense for the Wolfpack and the things that they want to do. But I do love that it's early. Let's not get, his feet too wet. Let's not get him a bunch of experience. Let's get him right now. And not to say that you couldn't do the same thing later, but it's just it's an advantage point that you feel that you can take advantage of. So, I think it's obviously a massive game. Everything that you just mentioned, how important it is for narratives, how important it is for, reputation and the league to really make a statement. But this is a good team. As you mentioned, this is a playoff seeking team, just as you are. And so you're talking about a playoff caliber game right here in week 2. I think that settle the storm, because again, it's probably 50-50. You hope it's 50-50. So it's going to be loud the entire game, and you just have to be able to, take punches as you do. Watch out for that edge rusher. A lot of people think it might be the first pick in the draft with Pierce.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they've got a lot of dogs. So I'm excited to see it. I can't wait. It's a great opportunity, top 20 team in the country, 24 for NC State. Guys getting after it. These are the type of matchups I love to see. Let's play some big boy football and let's make some noise.
Do you want to make a prediction, or do you want to make people tune in to your pod?
Tune into our pod because I need to see both teams play still. Sure.
Yeah.
But I feel great about Tennessee. I mean, with the things that they're going to do. But I love this defense for NC State, even though, again, lost your guy. I think the experience of your secondary, I think, can confuse a young sophomore or freshman, whatever he is, if he redshirted, and get him to throw the ball where he doesn't want to throw the ball. He might think it pre-snap, but then post-snap things are moving around. So, I feel confident in the Wolfpack that they can get it done. And again, the weapons that they have offensively, they're gonna overwhelm a lot of people. And it's gonna be interesting to see, is this a track meet? Is it a battle? Is it a defensive struggle? Because I think both teams are comfortable however it wants to play out. I think both teams are comfortable in that space.
Yeah. All right, week 4. Week 4.
Come on, baby. Come on to Death Valley.
Welcome to Death Valley, a place that.
Hold on one second. Let me get this up here.
Oh gosh, dang it! Here we go.
All right.
Oh, you know what?
I'm ready to talk about it.
Oh man, I had my autograph helmet that I just got the other day. I should have.
You got plenty of them. You got 17 helmets behind you.
Yeah, but these are just little guys. Like, that's still bigger. Anyway, that's probably got some wear and tear. Is that one of you that you wore? Or is it just,
this is the one I wore in the national championship. It's pretty weird because I changed helmets. Let me see if you can kind of see inside here a little bit. So it was this new Shut helmet. They literally brought it to me in the playoff and was like, hey, we just want you to wear this for the next 2 games, whatever. Which is cool, but it doesn't nearly have the same scars that my other one has.
Yeah, it doesn't have
that's at my dad's house,
like
the real one.
I like that. Anyway, we come down to Death Valley, where NC State has not won since 2002.
Yeah.
We came close one time, but we won't talk about that one.
Hey, thank God we missed. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick sidebar. I want to get back on topic.
You got it.
If State wins that game, does the Clemson dynasty happen?
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
But guess what? Gosh dang it, he did.
That's it. This interview's done. All good, my friend.
That was
all
so
good.
crazy.
No,
that was
it was a crazy game. Yeah. I can't even imagine living through it. I mean, I did, but in the stadium on the field. So selfishly, I hope that, both teams come in undefeated, get another potential college game day environment, which was, I was down there for the last one, which, State was robbed in that game, but whatever. Shipley fumbled.
Hey, I was there too. I was on paternity leave. And got to go. I got to go and see it. It was awesome. That environment was sick. Environment.
Yeah. The brand new scoreboard at night.
Yeah,
it was good. It was good. So anyway, again, hoping that both these teams are undefeated. I think win or lose, I think both teams, obviously still early in the season, one loss isn't the end all be all, but it's going to go a long way in determining who becomes ACC champion, or excuse me, who plays for an ACC championship.
Right. No, I totally agree with you. And, the interesting thing about it with the Wolfpack, in those 2 games specifically, when you look at Clemson and when you look at Tennessee, it's weird to imagine if you go 0-2 in those, that even still at 10-2, if you win out, that you wouldn't be in a prime time spot to be one of the 12 teams. But how much are they going to look at it and just say they didn't beat the teams that deserve to be in this type of situation. So I don't know. It feels like one of those. It feels like one of these two games, you got to do it and then just continue to run the table, obviously, and get your goals done. But is there that potential rematch where you're in an ACC championship game and you see somebody a la the Tigers again, and do you capitalize on it there? So, obviously coming to Death Valley is extremely difficult. As you mentioned, not since 2002. And those guys are going to be juiced up, right? Obviously, you guys beat them last year at Carter Finley.
And that's not. I'm not trying to throw salt in there. Where I was going to go with that.
What about the last four? How many of the last four? What about the last 20? What about the last 20?
We'll take them when we can get them, sir.
We can do stats. Whatever stats
whatever
tell the
narrative
story.
You want to. Exactly.
We can make it. But I get it. But it is true. It is true. Two of the last three.
You've gotten that monkey off your back. Where I was going, you've got the monkey off your back. You're not quote unquote. Not that teams are ever scared of playing one another, because that's just not how football's played. They put on the helmet the same way you do. They strap it up. So
there is something to that, though. There's like this when you can't do it, or when it's been so long, like it was before. What year was that? Was that 2020? That first year?
What's that? Oh, when we won 2021, because that was the year I broke my leg.
22. That's right.
I remember it.
Right. 2021. There is something to that, though. Where you just haven't beat a team in 10 years, whatever it was, 9 years. That you just feel like, can this be done? Can we do it? And when you do, like you said, it calms nerves, especially when you're coming off of a victory. You're like, oh yeah, whatever, let's go. These are the same guys. So I think it's going to be a brawl. Some Clemson fans that I've talked to, very nervous about that game. I just can't wait to see it. I know there's probably no chance we will be there, because it probably will be on ABC. Too big of a game. But it's going to be Clash of the Titans type vibes. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, and we're going to get wrapped up here real quick. But you guys have a very similar situation like we do. You played Georgia week 1, and then we play Tennessee week 2, and then we have this matchup. Which game is more important to you as a Clemson person?
In what regard?
For national championship aspirations. Because I'll give you mine, and then I'll give you mine real quick, and then while you're thinking. To me, it's the Clemson game.
Yeah.
All you have to do is win the ACC, and you're in.
Sure. I think just from a this is probably just biased, but I just think if Clemson beats Georgia, that changes a lot really quickly.
Yeah, for you especially, right? Number one.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
If NC State beats Tennessee, I mean, where do they go? They go to 17 from 24 to 17. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, which is still it's great. It's a huge deal. But Georgia has been the team, right? Even last year, you could argue that they should have still been in, which I wouldn't. I hated that. But you could have argued they still should have been in, and maybe even would have won it, at the end of the day. But you got to take care of business when you do. So they've just been the standard. Georgia's been the standard, just like Clemson was, 3-4 years ago. So that's I think the bigger deal is if you get that done, it is such a massive dub for the league. And like I said, I will be intolerable the rest of the year.
You will get a message from me, win or lose, on that game.
There we go. I look forward to it.
All right, I got 2 more for you, and we're going to wrap this up. Cool. What does Coach Doran have to do to get ACC Coach of the Year?
Man, it's go 10-2 probably. 10-2, you got it. ACC Championship, you got it. To me, though, that award is so weird.
It's so
because there's times where it goes to like the most surprising coach. There's times that it goes to the best coach. There's times, because how did Coach Sweeney not win it 8 straight years, in that run that they were on? He didn't. Yeah. So that it's, I don't want to disservice an award. It's watered down a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. Watered down. I like that one.
Which I don't love. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
All right. So the last question I'm going to go to, because State has been on the door of 10 wins for a long time.
Brother, a long time.
I know. Should have had it.
I've been begging for it. I've been screaming for it.
Bro, me too. Coach Doran just deserves it. The longer he's at this program, the more we love him as a fan base.
Oh, yeah.
He is one of us. He embodies us.
No doubt.
What, in your mind, is a successful season for NC State? Is it 10 wins? Is it an ACC championship appearance? Is it ACC championship? Is it a college football playoff berth? Like, give me your definition of a successful season for NC State in 2024.
Yeah, it's hard, right? It's hard to because you don't want to go too big. You don't want to, because again, this team has never played in the championship game, right? Like, that's never happened.
1979 is the last ACC championship. I was 2 years old.
Last championship was 79.
That was 2.
The last 10-win season was when? 04? 01?
01, yeah, with Phillip Rivers.
And that's the only one, right?
Correct.
So it's like, I mean, that if you get 10 plus wins, unbelievable season, fantastic. If you get to the ACC championship, even better, greater. And to do that, I think you will have to win 10 games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, winning that, get into a playoff, that's like
gravy,
cemented in history type stuff, legendary type stuff. But 10 wins is great. That's a huge step. That's legendary too. There'll be only 2 of you if you ever do that. So, but it is a weird spot where if you win 9, it's probably really disappointing. Just because of the schedule, because of the amount of resources, the talent that was acquired and brought in. This is the year. This is like, it's all lining up perfectly. All the planets are right there. Yeah. We got to do it. We got to do it. So it's a weird fine line of, enough is certainly enough, but not enough is a really thin margin. And,
and it's 10 regular season wins, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree. Mr. Eric Mac Lain, you are the man. Thank you so much,
man. Like, can I just say I'm jacked up for the Wolfpack? I mean, seriously, 10 wins plus, man. I feel it. I can't wait to be there on Thursday night. I'm going to have my red tie on, in with you guys.
Let's go.
And
I might have to bring
always love coming to Carter Finley.
Always might have to use some of those Rock'em Sock'em Rock'em Socks NC State ones. I still got those.
I need some Grayson McCall ones, man. I need to be swagged out. That's what we need. That's what we need.
Sir, thank you so much, man. We enjoy the conversation with you. We always enjoy your time. Just a great time that I am so jacked, my friend. So jacked. All right, Wolfpack Nation, we got to end this thing, man. Eric's got a plane to catch to Bristol. He's got a real daytime job to do. All right, that'll wrap it up for Wolfpack Nation. Thank you so much. Make sure you're following Eric. He is the man out there on social media. So honest, so real, so genuine. Keeps it 100% all the time. Wolfpack, we'll see you next time. Go Pack.